Welcome to this ASP.NET Core DataGrid tutorial. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to customize the columns of Syncfusion ASP.NET Core DataGrid using templates. In this demo, I will customize the DataGrid columns to include employee images and checkboxes. I'll also customize the header with icons. First, I'll open the existing ASP.NET Core web application where I have added the grid control. I have also bound employee data to the control using the data source property. I've added the eGrid columns tag to display and customize specific columns with a few basic properties. To learn more about integrating the data grid control into an ASP.NET Core web application, please check out the Getting Started video linked in the card above and the description below. Let me run this application by pressing the F5 key. See, the grid is rendered with columns employee ID, name, and more. Now, I will show you how to add icons to the employee ID and hire date columns. First, I am removing the header text property since I plan to use a template. I include the script tag, set its ID attribute to employee template, and its type attribute to the client-side template. Then I add the span element and provide the custom header title employee ID. In the style element, I can include a built-in or custom icon using the font face CSS rule. Here, I specified the custom font to display the icon. I also define the icon class, the icon user login, with styles like font family, width, and content. I copy this class name and use it in the span element. Then, I assign this template ID to the header template property of the employee ID column. Similarly, I add another template for the hire date column. I change its ID to date template. Assign this ID to the header template property of the hire date column. And remove the header text property. In the template, I change the column name to date joined and the icon class name to the icon calendar. In the style element, I define the icon class, the icon calendar, with styles like font family, width, and content. Looking at the grid header, an icon has been added to the employee ID and date join columns. Next, I'll show you how to display employee images in a separate column. I want to show this column before the employee ID column. So I add an eGrid column tag with the header text employee image. Then, I add the text align property and set its value to center. And set the custom width to 120 pixels. I add the script element and set the ID to data template. I add a division tag with the class name image to align the image element. I add the image element and include a source attribute to define the path of the images. The root folder of this application contains the images of the employees, and I assign the path to the source attribute of the image element. Notice that I have constructed the image path using the employee ID data source field. Also, I add a few styles like height, width, border radius, and more to align the image. I assign this ID to the template property of the employee image column. As you can see, the employee image column is added to the grid with proper images. Next, I'll show you how to use conditions inside the template. I want to display the employee's active status based on conditions. So I add the grid column and set the header text property to active and text align property to center and set the custom width to 120 pixels. I add another script element with the ID conditional template. I add an if condition based on the discontinued data source field to render the checkbox component with and without a check state. I assign this ID to the template property of the active column. Checking the data grid, the active column is displayed with the checkboxes. The checkboxes are rendered in a check state for the employees who are active. In this video, I showed you how to customize the data grid column header and its column data. I also showed you how to use conditions inside the data grid column template. You can download a working example from the GitHub link shared in the description below. You can also see if you're eligible for our community license, which will get you a free license key to use our products. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel.